Hello, hello, hello. Hello everyone, this is Imran, your friendly Facebook friend. Today here to interview Magdalena Baciu from UK, and she'll be here in a moment. And she's a life transformation expert, and I'm going to interview her. So feel free to join and share your question. And yeah, let's see. And before that, I want to share something about this show. This is a show, 40 minutes of soul journey, where I interview people who are like inspiring, entrepreneur, healer, light workers, fitness professional, realtor, or anyone like who has some gift, like musician, dancer, or any magician who has some magic and can have some positive impact on other people's life. So I bring them, give them a platform, and yeah, they can share whatever they feel inspired, and other people may get some benefit from it. So that's the summary of this show, and let's see when she is joining here. Hello guys, who are the two people? I see like two people are watching. I don't know who are you guys. So thanks for joining in, and yeah, she's here. Let me bring her in. Audience, Magdalena. Hey Agnes, thanks for joining in. But where is sorry, Magdalena, can you please join request this live so I can bring you in here? Hello. Da, da, da. Cool. Hello brother, thanks for joining. She'll be here in a moment. Give me some time. Hello Magdalena, can you please join? I can see you're watching this live. Hello.
Great.
How are you?
Hello.
Welcome to this show.
I'm really good. I didn't know how to join. I was like, where is the button?
It is somewhere around this left, right, up, down, somewhere. So
yeah.
You made it. So congratulations. So guys, this is Magdalena Baciu, and she's basically from Romania. I didn't know. I just know like 5 minutes back. I was thinking like she's from UK. But anyway, she's here. Please welcome. And she's a life transformation expert. And she's going to share her journey, her inspiration, her breakthroughs, all her current mission, and all this future vision. So let's welcome and let's give her some space so she can open up and share so many nice, cool stuff with us. Please go ahead and start sharing.
Thank you so much, Imran. It's such a pleasure here. So much joy. And I have to say, and I'm joining from London today, and we had like really overcast weather all the morning. And now when we started this, the sun is coming through. It's just amazing.
Good, good. Yeah.
All this beautiful energy. So I'm so happy, so delighted to be here to share with you about my passion, about my work, about my heart. So where should I start?
Wherever you feel good.
So let me share with you like why I'm on this journey, because Imran was saying that I'm a life transformational expert, and what does that has to do with anything, and why am I doing this? So for me, the journey started really at the beginning of my life. I was not really aware of it, but since I was a child, I was very aware about the suffering that is going on around me. I was seeing the adults being wrapped up in their thoughts and their worries. Like you have this candy sugar. You know, you have the candy sugar, or you have the
Yeah,
sugar wrapped
yeah,
in the stick. So this is how I, as a small child, I was seeing the adults being wrapped around these thoughts, worries. And sometimes as a child, I wanted to wake them up because I was noticing that they were totally in their other reality and missing out the life that was happening around us. So
yeah.
this is like right at the beginning of my journey. Maybe I was 3 or 2 or 4. Around that time, I felt this pain of the people around me and suffering. And of course, not only people, because I love animals, I love like all life, but naturally it started with people, noticing that in people. And so this is something that I've done in the background all my life, looking at situations, how can I support people to alleviate suffering, and how to alleviate suffering in the world around me, what I was conscious about. And then
Nice, nice.
my journey went into different ways. So I have studied natural sciences. I'm a doctor in natural sciences. So during my scientific part of my life, so I was in the academic studies and work for about 10 years of my life. And after that, I was at prestigious universities in Europe. So I was in Romania, but also like in UK, in France, in Spain, in not Spain, Sweden, in Germany. So I had a flavor of what is going on in different cultures in different parts of the world, also with my traveling. And then I moved on to the industry for about like 4 or 5 years. I was in a high management position in the industry. And what I saw, like the common denominator, was that sometimes people, most of the time people are not limited by the knowledge or by their intelligence, like highly intelligent people, highly knowledgeable people, people with so much potential. And yet they are so limited by beliefs and ideas that they have in their minds. And I was at that moment like being more aware about what is possible and so on. I really felt like what I would need to do, that was my wish, like what I would need to do is to free up people from this concept so they can really shine and be all that they could be. So, and this comes the transformational work, because I saw like, you know, a scientist, a businessman cannot shine in their full potential if they are afraid that they would look bad, if they are afraid to speak up, if they are afraid that they're not good enough, or if they are motivated about fear that, oh, what would happen if I'm not right all the time? So when people are motivated by these fears, which are the base of these limiting beliefs, we cannot really be our best. You know, we can be the boss of whatever, and we can even be the CEO, but that would be only a tiny fraction of who we are. So my passion is to really support people to break free from these constraints and to really shine in their full light. And one of my mentors said it in the best way. He explained this constraints. It's like we come into this world with this amazing treasure, amazing wealth of talents and gifts and possibilities, and possibility to manifest our hearts into the world. We have everything in that package. But when we are born, we start being shaped by society, by our own fears that start forming. Like instead of becoming this amazing oak tree, we become this oak bonsai, you know, and we perfect, it's like a small bonsai. And you know what happened with this plants that don't grow in their natural habitat? They are quite fragile. You know, you put the bonsai in the draft, the bonsai goes south. So, and it's not about like, I really have a firm belief that whatever we need, we're already doing that. Whatever we are, the gifts, we already have them activated to some extent, but we are not playing at the big level that we are. And this is like where the life transformation come into play, is to really support people transcend those limitations, you know, break free from those, you know, corsages that we put around us, the cage that we put around that don't allow us to grow into our full potential, and to support people to be like who they truly are, discovering this every moment.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome. That's amazing. Yeah. Feel like from the beginning you started feeling like there is something. You feel the pain, then you go to higher studies, also been through different culture
Yes,
and travel, and also been through this corporate culture, also being the top position, and you see like there is something is there, something is missing, and you are just working on that specific thing. What is missing, and that's mindset. Like yes, you're true. Like we can be very big, we can be very top level position, and if we have the confined us with this bonsai mindset, then nothing going to happen. So we need
yes,
to open up, break free, and just explore our full potential as a human.
yes,
We are amazing creatures. Like you also, people say like, yes, we have something in us. We are a part of this universe, and universe is very big. So why we need to confine ourselves in some little and small context? Why don't we explore and expand all the possibilities? That's the
yes.
thing. So thank you for sharing this thing. So now I have another question. Like yes, you started this thing. So what was the, like you shared, like you felt the pain. So how you overcome, like what the next action was, what you did? Like okay, you feel it more. What was the how you overcome this thing? You know, like when you started feeling pain, we also feel pains. So how you overcome that part?
You mean in which context? Like me seeing the pain around me, or
And,
my own pain of growth? I don't understand exactly. So,
just like about the growth part.
okay. So I will answer both. So
Okay.
I was sharing that I started my journey by seeing all these things around me. And of course,
Mhm.
this suffering that I saw around me was also part of my own suffering. And
Yeah.
also, I was also experiencing the suffering of my own limitations, because I was also like receiving from the environment I was in sort of limitations, you know,
Mhm.
what a woman can do, what a woman of a certain
Mhm.
age can do, what a child is not allowed to
Yeah.
do. So I experienced this
Mhm.
frustration also growing up. And then, you know, I'm Romanian. So there was also a lot of bias and thoughts about like, oh, it's Romanians, you know,
Yeah.
and about,
True.
and
East European.
so it's like lots of people from the, um, you know, the position of simplifying their lives, they are tending to put us in a box, and it's our choice to stay in that box or not. So how I overcome this, how I overcome the pain of seeing suffering around me, is like I did a lot of work. So that's why I'm here, because I
Yeah.
started studying, you know, what moves people, how can we support people to become aware about the cause of suffering, to become aware that, oh, you know, that can be a suffering environment, but it's actually my decision to be there or not, that I'm powerful to change those conditions. And I studied a lot. uh, to be honest, I was more motivated about the pain I saw around me than my own pain. Like I always felt that I'm here to serve. I never felt that I'm here for myself. So that
Hmm.
is like is a kind of perspective that I was dealing with. And so this is how I overcome my pain of seeing suffering around, by doing something about it, learning, studying, reaching out to different cultures, different communities. So I'm part of different communities even at the moment. Like I have a very big community that I'm connected with in India, two communities actually. Like
Nice.
also I'm connected with a community that is like in terms of health and well-being and studying, you know, health remedies and so on. And another community that's pure consciousness, and the learning community when we studied ancient texts and so on. And also I'm connected with a community of elders, like people who come from different cultures, from South America, Central America, North America, and they bring this knowledge from the earth, our connection with the earth and with the cosmos. Because I feel part
Awesome.
of our suffering, it's also that we are so disconnected. We lost connections with our own selves, and we lost connections then with Mother Earth, and we lost connection and awareness that we are part of a bigger system. And of course we have duties because of that, but we also have a lot of benefit by realizing this, and a lot of
Yeah.
support and a lot of love and a lot of enthusiasm can come out of that. So I have been studying and traveling a lot to find answers, and of course these answers also serve me to open up.
Hmm.
And another way how I overcome my own suffering, I have been changing a lot. like, and it's quite painful. This pain of growth is quite painful, because sometimes you realize you have no other choice but just, you know, leaving a job that it's quite secure, and that you worked really hard to go to this position. And then it became very obvious to me that I need to stop that, because it's really impacting me physically. I get really sick, and it's not good for me. And to have the courage to do this. So I have been, it's, you know, sometimes the courage and the craziness, it's really borderline. You cannot say, only at the end you can say, yeah,
Very fine line.
it's a fine line. And, you know,
Yeah.
if you get it in the wrong way, you say, oh, that was a stupid thing to do. But if it works out, you're like, oh my God, I was so clever. So it's just like following the heart. And it's just, it's a work in progress to really become attuned to our own, you know, beyond the mind. Because mindset, it's one thing, but also being sensitive to what we feel and what our heart is saying. And you coming from the Eastern culture, you know this, like we always say the mind and we point here, but actually, like the Eastern cultures, they say the mind, it's in the heart. Basically, the mind, it's in the heart. It's not in the head. So
yeah, it's like contradictory sometimes. Like even like in Tibetan culture, there are two things. Some believe like it's like heart and brain is different. Like they have a different definition. Like consciousness and thinking is different. But yeah, it's more or less same. Like as you said, like yeah, some part we believe like it's heart is there. We think like with our head. Yeah, sure.
yeah.
Yeah, so you carry on with this thing, because we can divert by this different thing from Eastern culture and this what is in with
and it's all about like learning about overcoming suffering. It's all about learning about ourselves and realizing that sometimes there's what we call the mind is just the conscious mind, and this sometimes is not helping us solve new problems. I have a very funny way, like my mind is quite funny to explain. So sometimes how our logical mind is sabotaging us, because we talk about sabotaging. Actually, the mind is trying to help. The conscious mind is trying to help, but it can only, it's like the big librarian of the library of the past, you know. So you want to do something new, go somewhere you haven't been before, but it's like the conscious mind is bringing you the same book, like, hey, you may be afraid, hey, something bad may happen to you, hey, remember last time these people were mean, and then you're like, oh my God, better not do this, because the conscious mind only tells you where you've been. It will never know where you go next. And sometimes it can even stop you because it wants to keep you safe. It's like, oh, why bother, you know, giving up your job? You're actually really good, you know, you may take some pills to sleep and to be okay. But it's everything good, you know, and it's trying to keep you like where you've been, because it, even if it's hard, this is like the biggest hindrance for all of us. Like, even if our current circumstances are very difficult, we know them. We know that pain. So the pain that we know, we kind of deal with it. But we are afraid that maybe the next thing maybe brings us something that we don't know how to deal with. And here, where I get with this now, it's just like all fear, it's fear of the unknown. So basically overcoming suffering, it's also understanding our relationship with what we don't know. That is very important. And the way I, again, playfully and easy, because this can be very philosophical discussion over years. It can be life.
Go ahead.
But the way I easily tell to people, I share with my clients and in my talks, how to overcome the fear of unknown. It's like, we just have to understand that whatever we are stepping on in the next moment, it's a result of what we harnessed so far and our prayers, our wishes, our visions for the future. So it's not really unknown, you know? If you send good wishes for yourself in the future, if you have good vision, if your good visions, it's not only for you, but it's supporting a lot of people. If you have good things in your heart, and you have a friendly nature, and you like to operate in the world in a way that's benefiting you and all living beings and the environment, and that you try to make as less footprint as possible, you know, produce as less trash as possible. What do you think will happen tomorrow? You're going to enter your prayers. So the unknown, you're weaving it with the thoughts in the present moment. So it cannot be something that is going to be scary, because you created already with your consciousness every moment. If you have a natural attitude to be grateful, to be appreciative, to meet somebody with an open heart, that's your future, that's your unknown. So your unknown is it's open. And yes, there could be some tests, there could be some hindrances, but your nature is already prepared you to overcome them. So the unknown, it's not very unknown. It's what we make of it.
Amazing. Yes, I think this is like a very simplistic way. Like, yes, we always think like, okay, what is going to happen, this and that. If I go to this new country, I don't know anyone. But as a person, we dream this, we are visualizing, our heart is wanting to go there, and I feel like, oh, what will have, whom I'll meet, and how the situation will be, the nature and the environment, the climate will be like that, or it will be cold or what, how the people will interact with me. But we are already looking for it. We're eager. We're firmly believing like, okay, we'll go there and we'll have something, we'll have a new experience. And I feel like sometimes I just do like, just go and feel it and face it. Like, there is nothing like facing down. Like, it's better to just go there and confront something in real than put so much pressure on our head. This is a small head. Put so much of pressure in our head.
Yeah. And also, like, maybe it happened to you because you also extensive traveled. So sometimes I go to places I don't even speak the language, but it's just people, and you really connect from your heart. Like, you recognize the people, recognize your people in every culture. And I remember the time I was, many years ago, I was in Catalonia, and I was taking a trip like around Barcelona, and I was taking this trip. It's really beautiful. Like, you can do this walk through the forest, through the mountain to reach this Montserrat monastery. And we found ourselves, I was with my boyfriend at the time, and we found ourselves in this very remote village. And he was hungry. I was also a bit hungry, and he was really hungry. And I was like, what should we eat? Like, it was siesta, everything was closed, and we just didn't know. There were no shops. And I just I saw something that looked like a shop, and I just started talking to the people with my hands and feet.
Sometimes I do that.
They made us some sandwiches, and I paid, and everything was done. And then my boyfriend at the time, he was praising me for years. He was like, oh, I would have died of hunger if I would not be with you. And it's like, yes, because it's like you get scared, like, oh, I'm not speaking the language, oh my God. But then it's like you can communicate beyond language, because you look at the person, and you just, anyone, I say this, like, anyone who would be there for you to understand you with an open heart, they will make sense of what you're saying, no matter if you can't speak.
I agree, totally agree. And it happened with me, and wherever I travel, and even with my friends, it's happened. Like, it doesn't matter, you can be in some part of Patagonia, still you can explain, like, you are hungry, you need some help, you want to get some support, or maybe some internet or something. Like this always happens. So it's really, really amazing. And sometimes I was surprised, like, before I started traveling, I used to have lots of fear, just like this bonsai kind of feeling, like, oh, shall I go there? Even for 7 days travel, like, oh, lots of planning, you know, like, oh, I'll go there, I need to book a taxi, I need to book the hotel, and this and that. Many planning. And at the end, every time, everything was crashing. More planning, more crashing, more planning, more. Then I started saying, like, okay, leave it, fuck it, I'll just go and see, like, how it is, what's universe is offering, what's the uncertainty is bringing to me, and it's always bring the best. And I don't even sometimes need to try anymore now. I just be there, and I always meet so many cool people, lots of my tribe people. It's like some say, like, your vibe attract your tribe, that kind of thing. So I always met so many cool and these conscious people, and even the Agnes I met in Nepal, like, spontaneous. I had no idea how I met her, but we met and we become good friends. So it's really, really amazing. She'll be here in the next episode, and she is excited.
Wow.
She's watching.
Yes. And this is very important. You know, sometimes we feel that, oh, if I control everything, then I win, I'm powerful. But actually this is very limiting, because when we are controlling everything, we only go where we've been before. So we may feel that we may think we go to China or Indonesia or South America, but if we control everything, we don't travel anywhere else. We travel only inside our heads. And it may be a scenery, but we're not escaping the same reality, and we will not be able to grow. And sometimes in a funny way, the life or universe or God, how you want to call it in your concept of the world, is making those controlled plans not working, because that is actually serving us more, and it's supporting us to see how powerful we are. When things that we were trying to control, they're not working anymore, then we can be really present, and we can really create something really magical and really meet magical people. Otherwise, we just go the same old, small, you know, courtyard, you know, like in a prison, an inmate, and it cannot walk this like small thing, like you make 1,000 laps, the small thing, but like you don't go to another country, you only go in your head. So in order to travel, in order to really travel, it's good to park our concepts, our ideas. And of course, like we are sensible people, you know, you take your passport, you have some money with you, you are aware if something is safe or unsafe, but we don't try to control it, everything. Yeah, because otherwise.
Yeah, true. Those are the basic thing you mentioned, like basic thing we need to be care, but we can't control the surroundings, how people will come, the situation. That's the main funny part, and I think the most exciting part about traveling, like just to go there and face it, see it, and that's the best thing. So I have a question I want to ask. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, go ahead. You wanted to share.
What I wanted to share is like, this is what the way to connect with that power that we all have. This is how I explain to my to people who attend my events and my clients, is like we operate on the horizontal dimension. So when we try to control everything, it's all about like the time and the, you know, everything gets very constricted and it's very physical, very material, like it's this, and you go there and it takes 2 hours, and then you do that, and then you do that. There is no space for magic. Everything is the mind, and it's very linear, and it's very like limited, because you cannot imagine that you can have something amazing into something that you already planned. Like it's just there is no space for that. And also you can't engage your personal power so much in this control. You're actually very weak. But then when we are this horizontal dimension, it meets the vertical dimension in the present moment. So when we give ourselves permission to be fully present and to engage life fully, like full on, to be really there, to be very aware. And sometimes, you know, things have to go in a different way than we planned for us to wake up to what it is. And when we are really present in the present moment, then we engage our ultimate power, because we are connected with all our wisdom, with all our faculties, with all our talents and gifts. We are switched on fully. So nothing switches on fully then when we cannot play with the control mechanisms. So
Awesome. Thank you. Yes, it's like control is always something is there. So I have some question I want to ask, like so 2%, like I can see in my notepad is written. So first question, like let's say as a human, we always have some ups and downs. Let's say we have a very like we crushed everything, our business just vanished. Like we made a big loss. How we overcome this situation? How we can keep ourselves like again and get that motivation to starting. So what is your opinion on that? Let's say I have nothing. I have some business, I lost everything. Then how I can start it? What sort of mindset I need that moment, and how I should be present in that moment, because you know the situation can be very hard that time.
Yes, definitely. And this can be even more complicated when you have people depending on you, their and when it's only you, it's tough enough. But when you have people who also have families to feed and you cannot pay them, that's very difficult. So the first, one of the first things, like so far, I mean, I'm not saying that I'm an expert, but you asked me, so I'm answering.
I'm asking your opinion.
Like, it's always good to derive our sense of worth and our sense of power from who we are. When we identify ourselves that, you know, I'm so powerful because my business turned over to billions, or I'm so powerful because I have businesses in 15 countries, or I have clients around the globe, and I'm so cool because, you know, my business is going so well, and I have these properties, and I did these deals. When I derive my sense of worth from physical things and how things are going, this is a very weak position to be, because we know from the change of the day and night, from the change of the seasons, from, you know, everything, we know that everything is impermanent. Everything here is permanent. So everything that goes up will come down. It's physics, you know, it's like, so when we know that, we do not attach ourselves to something that is temporary. Of course, we're going to work our best, but we need to be anchored into the eternal. So in order to be able to deal with the material, we have to be anchored in the eternal. We have to be anchored in the wealth and the power and the strength that we have from our heart, from our spirit, from our soul, from connection with all there is, and like leveraging on that, entering and doing the work in the world. And that will support us not to despair when things are crashing, because you know you're creating this. And I know for a fact, everybody who created $1 billion business, if they lose everything, they will make it back in 6 months, because you already learned all the mechanism. You already internalized this. You become this person who can reproduce results. So when you know who you are, what you do, and how much it survives or it crashes, you know you can deal with that, because you know who you are. Awesome. So this is like what my work, I really support people to become really conscious and aware about their capacity to create, about their capacity to be, about who they truly are. And then they don't really put so much weight on what is happening on the outside world, because we know, oh, this is crashing because I need to go to the next level right now. But there is one more thing that I wanted to share. Sometimes it's a crashed business. Sometimes you get in a, like you break a leg, or you lose your home, or you have like your car gets stolen. So different things that shakes your world. And I really firmly believe, and from my work with people and discussing with people, we always get a warning before this is happening. Yeah. There are, even when people get tremendously sick, before they got really sick, to have like, you know, cardiac problem, or a blood vessel breaking in the mind, in the brain problem, they always, like few months before, you get a warning, maybe even 2 warnings. And we ignore those warnings. And when we ignore those warnings, then something more dramatic is happening. So what is happening, these warnings and these events that happen, it only tells us, hey, whatever you've been doing until now, it's time for you to go to the next level. It's like in a computer game, you know. The moment you start feel comfortable, you know you need to up level your game. You need to go to the next level. And when we go through life and we experience some of these tsunami effects, then we start becoming even more careful, and we're going to see the first warnings. And then we're like, okay, this is happening, and the other thing is happening. I need to change something. I need to transform something. And once you start doing that, the big crash is not going to come, because you already started building the new structure that is going to be even more robust. So it's all about
Awesome. I think this is the best thing you said, like so far. Like, yes, whatever you said is all really cool, but these are the last thing. Like, yes, we always get some, it's like signal from the universe, God, or whoever. Like, we started feeling like with our business or our personal life, even with our relationship, we always get some signal like, okay, something is going, either you up level yourself or do something, you know, like it's always like when the breakup happened, even in relationship, when you become more comfortable, we started giving the more to our opposite partner, you know, and they started, oh, things are fine, and we started ignoring this and that, those small signs. Even for business, when you see like something is leaking money, small, because then it will create the bigger leak, and that's how we'll crush our business. So that's the best thing to do, level up. Whenever it started feeling like comfortable, that means, okay, we already mastered this level, so let's upgrade and set a new goal and a new mission and a new vision, and expand our
heart, our soul, whatever you want to call it, the universe. It's
Yeah.
it's not letting us to go and play the small game and be comfortable. Like, we need to know that we are here to learn and to grow. We are not here to fall asleep. So also what is happening, like the biggest kind of, how should I say this? The biggest blind spot that we have when we got the signals, we make it about the other person. We like, oh, I will just fire this person, or I'll just break up with them because they are like this, or I'll just move from here. But the thing is, like, the moment something is entering our consciousness, a signal, it can be on the other side of the globe. The moment you become aware of it, that's a signal for you, you know, and it's about you, it's not about the other person. So that is something that we need to come to terms to it, to take full responsibility. Because if we start telling our partner, like, oh, you start whining a lot lately, or you start talking with our co-workers, like, oh, guys, you're kind of doing this or that. The moment we see a change in our outside environment, we need to first level up our inner world, and then make the changes and have the conversation outside of ourselves. Like, really take responsibility for this.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for this very, I say, profound input and lots of wisdom out there. So thank you. And now another question is almost like similar, but in a different thing. I don't know, like it can be like say very similar. The thing is like, you know, like we all have this thing, like we make a cycle. We again come back the same situation. Like you said, like a vicious cycle, we grow and then come to this thing. So how we can overcome this repetitive cycle in our life in case of business?
I think this is like a spiral of growth.
Yeah.
And I feel that we can be really passive, like waiting for things to crash, and then we pick ourselves up and we dust ourselves and we cry a lot, or we get sick, and then finally after some years we pick ourselves up and we build the next relationship or the next business. And these are very painful cycles. Another way to overcome this, so there are two cycles we talk about here. So this is like the first cycle, I'm talking about the cycle of growth, the spiral of, and I think the best way is to be proactive about it. Like keep abreast with things, like really be present and really drive this growth ourselves without going into this crazy beating ourselves up and motivating ourselves too much and not sleeping and not eating to get work done. No, not like that. In a kind way, in a very honest way with ourselves, to know, hey, what do I need to function? This is actually the fundamental question, like, what are my non-negotiables? What do I need to function? And we need to be like really able to understand this hard truth, because you may need 10 hours of sleep a day, every day. And you may say, no, you know, I need to psych myself up and I need to sleep 3 hours because I heard this person only 3 hours. And you can do that and you can crash at some point, because that's not for you. It's just to become intimately clear and aware about what do you need as a person, and to make that non-negotiable across business, across personal relationship, across everything. Of course, we have times in life when you have to put extra effort. Let's say you have a newborn child. You know, you can't tell your wife like, oh, I need to go now 3 months away and bye. You know, there are different moments in life when we need to adjust. But we have to have non-negotiables, like, what do we need to thrive? What do we need to be okay? Like, what do we need to be functioning? It's one thing, and what do we need to thrive? It's another, maybe more things you need. But to become fundamentally aware of that and not to cross those boundaries, to respect that about ourselves, and to create structures in our life that really supports us to be functioning. That is paramount. Then it's like, next question, next level is like, what do I need to thrive? So to thrive, maybe you need to take more time off, because sometimes people think they need to work more, but actually, no, actually having more space for this universal intelligence, more space for new ideas, more space to create, even connect with other communities or study something completely unrelated, looking unrelated to your business, will really open your mind. And maybe you come with a business idea that will generate you millions. But if you
True.
keep working more hours, it's not going to do that. So really become fundamentally aware about what do you need to thrive and honoring that. But this is something that you can create slowly, not one day from the other. It's like, oh, I fire everybody, and now I'm going to work only four hours a week. And this never works. I need to build this slowly. So not only that life catches up with us, but we can grow into those shoes. And then the cycles are going not to happen so dramatically because you are ahead of it. Like you are just honoring what you receive all the time. Another cycle, this is not a cycle of growth, it's a cycle of suffering that sometimes people come to me, like when I started doing this business about 8 years ago, people came to me with this fundamentally was like, how do I escape this, like things happening to me? You know, I have this type of relationship or this type of situation at work, then I change boyfriends or I change jobs, I change countries, I change everything, and I have the same situation over and over again with different people. And then people realize, like, wait a minute, this is something, it's like fishy here. Because the only common denominator is me. So they may be bad, but like, how do I create this? People understand that they're creating this. So how to escape this? Like, this is like deeper work. There's like this deeper work that you do to really understand, like, what is your motivation to create that in your life, and like creating different structures in your life to stop doing that. Because sometimes we are addicted to the cycles of suffering because, you know, historically from home, even if we suffered at home or we were in abusive families or difficult situation growing up, even though logically we may say we hate that, somewhere within ourselves we feel that's home. So we are inherently driven to them, these abusive partners, because maybe our father was abusive, and we keep navigating, oscillating, gravitating towards that. And it's not serving us unless we make that conscious and we start changing this. And this is more profound work that one can do. And this is where the work with a mentor or a coach is becoming important, because we know from Einstein, you cannot change your reality from the same level of consciousness that you've created it. So you would need to connect with somebody and have ability to operate in another. So when I work with people, it's almost like my consciousness becomes available to them. So they are able to experiment in a different way, looking at life through my eyes, through my all that I've learned. It's becoming accessible to them. So they have a different ways to choose things from themselves and to grow from that limited or hurting perspective into a more empowering perspective. So transforming from the bonsai to the mighty tree. And it's very sometimes with the same mind, you may think nothing is wrong because like, yeah, but I still have fruits as a bonsai. Yeah, but you all know if you have lemons from a plant in the house, will never taste as good as the lemons that are grown in the sun and in the really good soil. So it's just about making that transition to escape the cycle of suffering. So that is the cycle of suffering. I feel there one needs a bit deeper work. Like reading books is not enough. We all been there. Going to workshops is not enough, because unless you start transforming your life from inside out and doing the work yourself, it will never be enough. It's a good step because you become aware and you may start changing things, but ultimately you need a consciousness shift. It's like
awesome. Thank you so much. It's been really good. Like, yeah, it started slow, but then it started producing so much juicy and amazing advices, and I should say like true wisdom. And thank you for this. So now I have to, like, time is running, but I will give you more time.
Thank you.
So next thing, like, okay, please share something about your life transformation, like expert, like you are a life transformation expert. So how you are working with people, how you are helping people to transform their life, their reality. So please share something about your work.
Yes. So since I started doing this work, like I've studied many modalities. And as I said, I also work with ancient cultures and indigenous people from different cultures. And I have crystallized a lot of wisdom from different cultures and ancient wisdom, and kind of brought it together with, you know, science and research, and really bring the best of the best to serve people. And how is my method of working with people working? You know, historically, when I started, people were telling me like, oh, you're a healer. Like sometimes people just see me and like, oh my God, you're a healer. And the reason I don't call myself a healer is because ultimately I don't believe anybody is sick. I think we are just confused. Even when we are physically sick, it's all because of some confusion somewhere. So I think people can heal because they're not sick, ultimately. So I'm here to remove that confusion and support people to see the truth about themselves to heal. But ultimately how I work, the method how I work, I also feel that it's very important for us to become aware of who we truly are and what do we love to create here. And so I'm working ultimately, like when people come to work with me, of course, if they have a problem, we work on that problem first. But in order for us to make the transition from the ego structures, the bonsai structures, to becoming who you truly are, maybe you're a mighty cherry tree, maybe you're an oak tree, maybe you're a lemon tree, you know, maybe you're a whole orchard, right? So in order to make this transition, this is the ultimate recipe that I use. Like I support people to connect with their intuition. So most of the work it's involving the super conscious mind, the higher faculties, which we get our imagination, our intuition, our aha moments, you know, our gut feelings, all of that. And this is transcending the logical mind. Anybody who got intuition, they will not be able to linearly map how they got to that. It just came to them. You know, so I support people in all my work. People get trained into using that intuition, their super faculties that we all have, and to tap into that. So we are transcending the mind, what we call the mind in our normal life.
Yeah.
So I support people fundamentally to receive the vision for the next phase of their life, because the vision can be for a year, for 5 years, or 10 years, or for the rest of the life. We don't know. We don't control that. And time, when we create, it's not the same like the linear time. So we don't want to put labels on that. We don't want to taint the vision with some sort of a small box. So we let the vision come as it comes. First, when I work with people, like I support them receive the vision for the next phase of their life. And then we start creating like really powerful structures to allow ourselves to download this vision and to start creating into reality. Because we know, like we may have a great idea, but if we don't have a structure to harness it, to bring it here, to give it a body, to give it a home, to nourish it, to water it, to write it down, to get more ideas from it, it will just go. And in 10 years, you'll be like, oh, when I was this, you know, I got this idea, and now I haven't done anything with it. So we just really create really powerful structures to build those visions into reality.
Yeah.
And here, very exciting, because this is like, there's a real powerful method. This is not, sometimes people hear me speaking as like, oh, it's esoteric. It's nothing esoteric about it. There are methods as old as, like older than humanity, that teaches us how to harness that and to start creating it here. How to work with the mind, how to work with the unconscious mind, to really create habits, to really create processes that supports us to really start building that vision into reality. This is not esoteric stuff that you know, I'm going to tell you like, oh, you know, no, it's stuff that you would need to do and change, like literally. And then we also have a part of the work. So this is all going forward. So I'm all interested, and I feel this is serving humanity the best when we get the right structures to go forward. We can't live the life looking in the back mirror. You would crash. So you need to really be focused to go forward, create your vision, because that vision comes from your soul, from your heart, from your true nature. That is your purpose that's coming, you know, through your soul for you to create it. And that is our mission. Whatever it's unraveling for us, like 1 step, 2 steps, that is our full focus, and we should go full energy. But what is happening because of our upbringing, our whatever we've been through, traumas from the past, we may not be able to take those steps or make those changes, or we may even want to do this all, and we have a lot of setbacks. And if you don't have a coach, a trainer, a mentor, you may feel like, oh, maybe it's not for me to happen. Maybe it's not a true vision. That's why I get all these setbacks. Maybe the universe tells me no. So somebody who was there before you and understands the energies of things can support you to understand, no, this is not a message, you not to go there. It's a blockage that you have, something that you put in your mind when you're growing up because of some trauma, because of some fears, and now you block that road for you. So what we do, then we do a lot of work, really deep, going into the unconscious mind and, you know, supporting, changing those decisions that you've made when you are very small, to be able for you to be free to create what is there for you to create. So that is like deeper work, and it's absolutely necessary. But I don't do inner child healing and healing work for the sake of healing work, because I feel like we can heal until like 5 lifetimes and we'll not be finished with that. You know, there is always something to heal, but only healing stuff that it's necessary for you to go forward and create and be of service to yourself and humanity. That I feel is like, we only do the essentials there so we can spend all our energy to create. That is our purpose here, to create magic on earth.
Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
So
thank you for this. Wow.
How I work with people when I work one-to-one. But of course, like not everybody is ready to jump into the one-to-one. And it's like, we were talking about this before, I work with everyone. I think it doesn't matter man or woman or the social background or the, you know, country you're from or age you're from, what age you have, is not, so none of this is important. The important thing is like, are you in this time in your life when you're ready to do this work? That is the only thing. Like if you arrive here, you can be 20, you can be 60, doesn't matter. You know, it's just like, if you're ready to understand the value of this in your life and you're ready to create what you're here to create, then we can do the work. So this is the one-to-one work. But also like during the pandemic, I meditated because how can I support humanity in this time? So I also started doing, almost 3 years ago, I started doing guided meditations every week. We were doing them on Sunday, and every week on Sunday evening. And many people who participated, they reported dramatic changes in their life, like positive dramatic changes in their life, only by attending this, which was just like guided meditation in a group. Because like all my work is around reminding people who they are, reconnecting with their hearts, their soul, their purpose, their inherent value, talents, and true nature, and you know, really supporting, watering that, so that becomes really strong and like the lighthouse in their lives. And from there, lots of things can change and shift. So this is how I work with people. Like we have group meditations at the moment and one-to-one. And I also have in plan, like in the next months, to launch like once a month a master class where we're going to address like one situation that is important for our lives. Like I used to do this in London, like monthly events when I was talking about, for example, conflict, for example, communication, from example, manifesting, or different things that we meet in our everyday lives. So I would start doing this, and I would also want to restart. I have a gap now from doing group coaching, but I also want to restart doing group coaching in a different way, so people could have different types of support. Like they can also interact with each other, but also work with me in a group. So in different ways you can.
Okay, thank you. So guys who are watching this till now or watching this as replay, so as you said, like Magdalena is doing so many cool things, and she's offering this group coaching, one-to-one, and also like this free meditation. I'll recommend everyone who is watching this at least try to join her meditation on every Sunday and see like how she is, how, you know, like sometimes you feel people, like when you see like somebody is doing some meditation, you feel them like, okay, this sort of person she is or he is. Then you feel like, okay, then jump on another one-to-one session, maybe a clarity call, 15 minutes or 20 minutes, and then you can learn each other. And it's all not only like you have some problems, sometimes you also don't know like what is my problem. So you need to go into some expert or some guide, so they can tell like, okay, that's your problem, and that's how you can overcome it. And as I said, like if you have some trauma and something, it's never-ending process, but it's always good to fix. You'll never able to fix it 100%, but it's always better to get something to upgrade, something to change. Like it's a continuous process, and healing and the life will not stop if you just wait for healing. You can have more suffering. Like, okay, you need to have pay bill, you need to you need to raise your kids. So you need to go side by side. Healing and transformation of your business and life should go on and on. So that's how, if you want to do this, so I'll recommend join Magdalena's weekly this meditation session. What time, if you can share, so I can add that in the.
I have something coming up because I have a lot of clients and I'm connected with this big community in India. So this week would be on Saturday at 1 p.m. London time. There will be the group meditation open session for all. All you need to do is to register to the Zoom link. So you can, I know that you're participating, and then you just show up on Saturday at 1 p.m. And also, because we have a very powerful new moon on Monday, I decided to do a new moon session, a new moon ritual on Monday evening, 7 p.m. London time.
Awesome.
So we have two opportunities in the next few days to join. And also, like, if this resonated with you and you want to explore if like working with me is something that you would like to do, and even really helping you define what your problem is. Maybe you feel something is off, but you don't know how off it is or what is going on there. I offer these consultation calls, which are for free. So you can just DM me and I can send you the link. You can book when you can, and we can jump on a call and just see, are we a good fit to work together? Can I support you define your problem, and how can we go from that further? Providing like where you are in your life and what you're prepared to do at this moment in your life.
Awesome. Awesome. Like Magdalena, what you can do, you can update your link tree. So you can just share your link tree and I'll share with the description. Yes. So people can find everything in one place. Yes. So yeah, that's cool. Yes. That's cool. Okay. Now I think we are almost like end of 57 minutes. Long. Not anymore 40 minutes of soul journey. It's like 1 hour of soul journey, something like. So now we are almost. So now last question, like what is your advice or a suggestion or a piece of advice to all the audience who are watching this live or will be watching this as replay in a single sentence?
So what is coming to me right now is like, I invite you all to take a deep breath and just allow, as you breathe out, to let go of anything and everything that was in your mind, in your body before this call, before like worries that you have, and just allow yourself to come to the present moment. And take another deep breath. And just imagine that as you breathe in all the blessings, amazing inspiration, motivation, wisdom that you may need in your life right now. And just allow it to come into your body, every cell of your body. And as you breathe out, just release whatever doesn't serve you. So my invitation for you all is just to be present, and be present, be in your heart. Yeah. And it'll be longer than a sentence, but it's very worth it, I feel, for everyone to listen. That I was praying for a long time, how can we live in a way that it's not coming from within? Because sometimes living from what we think and our preconceived ideas may be very limiting. And my prayer was answered 1 year, I think it took until I got my answer to my prayer. And it came from the Buddhist tradition, and was talking about these 4 Brahma Viharas. So when we meditate weekly, we also engage this. So this is my invitation, not advice, but invitation. If it's true for you, look for it in your heart and live guided by these 4 principles: loving kindness, compassion, deep appreciation of everything there is, and equanimity. Equanimity meaning that we don't really get engaged into successes or failures. We are above all of that. Suffering and joy, we are above all of that. So these 4 things, let it guide your life: loving kindness, compassion, deep appreciation for everything there is, and equanimity. Keep a clear mind, centered mind. Thank you so much, Imran. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and also add this little thing, as you said, like this Buddhist tradition. My mentor Mike told me another simple thing, like we can't have the everything, as you said, like we are beyond this success and failure. We just need to be detached from everything. We need to be absolute zero, then we'll have our salvation and we'll have the peace. Thank you so much, and looking forward to see you in our next episode, and that will be our guest. Agnes will be there, and you are all welcome. And keep comment, and if you have any question, I'll pass it to Magdalena. She can
Yeah.
comment back, and also we can have another session, maybe a quick video. Yeah. Thank you so
Thank you
much,
so much.
and have an awesome day.
Lots of
Thank you.
love. Thank you.
Lots of love.